Welcome to the 3BA podcast, where bourbon, boners, and being awesome isn't just a catchy tagline. It's categories in which we discuss different topics every single day. My name's Garrett. I'm going to be your host along this unique journey through the bourbon and whiskey craze, men's health, and everything that life throws at you in between. On today's episode, it is the second B.O.W. of the week, the Badass of the Week award. It's being presented to one of my very good friends over here to my right, his first time on the podcast, Mr. Kurt Jacobs. Kurt, how's it going?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great. Yourself?
I am doing so much better now that you're here.
All right. Well, I'm glad we were able to meet up today.
I know. It's taken you a while. For those of you who don't know, it's taken Kurt a little while to finally make some time for me. But
I'm a busy guy.
I know you're a busy guy. I was just trying to give you an award. I'm trying to I'm here for you.
I appreciate you.
No, it's for me to appreciate you. And with that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why you, and he loves to hear about himself. Who doesn't, right? But let me tell the people out there who are watching and listening why I decided that you were going to be not only the first non-participant, meaning you're the first outsider other than the other person helping me with the podcast, which I surprised him with the first Badass of the Week award. You were the actual first one outside of our podcast, I guess. I don't want to say employees because we're not employees. Our podcast people. So you're the first one. You always like to be the first.
I do.
You've told me that many times. And
there's been a lot of
there have. And we'll talk about those here in a second. But I just wanted to say to everybody out there listening, and to you, I don't know if you know all the reasons, but I'm going to tell you all the reasons. Are you ready? Before we get started, though, cheers. We need to do this a little bit more often.
I agree.
Before we even get started into that, I guess I do a bad job of this, so I need to start doing a better job. We poured Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and this is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B.W. So that's from this year. It's the second batch. A little bit higher proof, 121 proof.
I can tell.
Yeah. Not bad, though, right?
No, good.
Not a good flavor?
Good.
We're going to try another one, too. We'll get through this pour. I'll get you another one. I want you to compare.
Sounds good.
Now that fun stuff's out of the way, why did I pick you? Why of all the people I could have talked to, why did I pick you? Well, there's a lot of reasons. And our friendship goes back quite a few years now. We've known each other for a while. And I'll tell that story here in a second. But the reason why I wanted you here today is because you do a ton, man. You're a police officer. I was going to drop that bomb in a second, but I'll do it now. You're a police officer. You literally protect and serve. That is your job. You do that every single day. You're a business owner. You're a patent holder. You've invented things. You have your own businesses, multiple businesses, much like me. You are always going. You have this really strange sleeping pattern, which we're going to talk about here in a second. You have kids. You have a wife. You literally are a man that does a little bit of everything. And quite often, as somebody else who does a lot of everything, and that's me, and I don't have half the responsibilities you do. I just think it's amazing that somebody in your place and your stature and where you are in your life, that you can still do everything that you do. And I'm just thankful that you do that. And that's why you got to be the Badass of the Week. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to be sappy.
No,
I'm just trying to let you know what's going on. So I'm going to start off with telling a little bit of a story about how we met, if you're okay with that. And then I would love for you to interject and say your thoughts and tell your version of the story.
I'm good with that.
But the story goes like this. A couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, two and a half years ago, I was working in a different position than I was for my day job. And on my day job, I would go around and I would talk to independent car dealerships. So for those dealerships that you were curious about, the ones that sell cars, maybe secondarily, not your Hondas and your Fords. It's your own dealership. At the time, it was called Auto Resale Specialist. It's now called Central Truck and Auto.
Correct. Yep.
And what I did is, for those who know about me, that I'm in sales and that's what I do on a daily basis. One of the things in sales that I have always tried to do is I've always tried to take every day and work my day. You're supposed to work your plan, work your day. And without going into deep sales strategy here, my day was going shitty that day. And I said to myself, I'm not going home until I stop and get something accomplished for the day, right? And again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was pretty late. It was after 6 o'clock, and it was getting dark early. It was winter time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was winter time. It was chilly out.
Yeah,
and it was after 6 o'clock. I remember I was there on a late deal.
Yeah, late deal.
I was running the show.
You were. Yeah. I mean, he was no employees there. It was just you.
One man show.
Yeah, one man show at the time. Yeah. And I remember just kind of driving by in this particular part of where your lot used to be. There were a lot of car lots along this particular stretch of road. Mm-hmm. And I remember just driving up and down. I remember, I'll tell you my part of it because it's all about me, right? I remember just being really pissed off is the wrong word. I was having a frustrating day. Sure. Sales sometimes can get frustrating. Sure. And I just remember looking to my right, seeing your lights were still on, and I was like, all right, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to stop. What is the worst that can happen? It's going to be another no that I got all day today. Why not stop? So I pulled in. I remember walking up and knocking on your door, and you may or may not have pulled your hand to your side to make sure you had some protection of some kind. And I remember you opened the door. Hey, what's going on? Like, hey, I'm Garrett, and at the time I was working for a loan company. And you're like, you work for who again? And this is how I remember it. And again, you're more than welcome to change history here. But I said, I work for so-and-so. You're like, you know what? It is your lucky day. I need what you have. Come on in. And I just thought, there's no way that just worked. I thought you were just full of it. I didn't think you were the owner. Of all the people being there after 6 o'clock on a day, there's no way. I was like, there's no way that's the owner. Sure enough, you're the guy. You were there. You were doing a late deal like you said. You sat down. You're like, give me the pitch. Tell me what you're about. I was doing subprime lending. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's people with bad credit. And I was a bank that was doing loans. And you sat me down. And I just remember you said, all right, what do I need to do to sign up? And I just, at that point in my career / my tenure with the company was very early on. And I had been beaten down. I'd been told no by a lot of people. And you're, yep, let's go. Let's do it. What do I need?
So I do remember this day. I remember I was there. I finished up a late deal, and I delivered a car. I had it from beginning to end. So back then, I didn't have any employees at the time. I was a one-man show. I bought the cars. I detailed the cars. I posted them on the internet. I did everything. I contacted all the leads. I got them in. I set the appointments, delivered the car, ran to the gas station, fill up with gas, all that good stuff.
Did the car wash,
whole 9 yards. So I do remember that day, and I remember I was there. I got done late, and I had to work that night at 11.
Yeah.
I believe I took the first couple hours off work. I had to work that night at 11, and I was also trying to catch up on paperwork, which is an ongoing feud with having a used car dealership. So I do remember you pulling in, and I remember seeing a car pull in. I'm like, it's almost 7 o'clock. What the hell? It's just like, maybe they're just pulling in to look at something.
Sure.
And then you came up and knocked on the door, which I was, that time it's like, maybe this guy's here to rob me.
Yeah.
We'll see. So open the door, and it was your smiling face.
It was. I love that you said smiling face.
And I said, hey, can I help you?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm with blah 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 company, and we do this, and I'm like, well, this is perfect timing because I was just bitching about not having enough banks.
You're exactly right.
And I remember I said, grab your laptop, let's put it together.
I very vividly remember that too. And you were just like, what do you need? What do you need? And it had not been that easy, obviously, to that point. In fact, it was a struggle. And what do you need? Here, you need this? Okay. Yeah, you have a voided check? Yeah. Oh, I need my license? Oh, yeah, here you go. It was honestly, I thought you were full of shit. I was like, there's no way this guy there's no way. Fast forward, let's just go a little ways down the road. Fast forward a couple months. You started to become one of my highest producing dealers, my highest producing dealerships. You wrote the most loans that you could write. I mean, not everybody's going to get approved and not every deal is going to go through, but you were writing the most loans. You then introduced me at the time to the other dealership that shared your lot, and I got with them, and it was just, there were a lot of people around there, and quite frankly, if I remember this correctly, you even said, hey, if you need to refer, if people need to know if your program works, tell them to call me, and I feel like you talked to a couple people for me, and
I did. Yeah, I did get some. I did get some calls from some people I didn't know.
Yeah,
which was fine.
Yeah,
and they'd say, "Hey, what's the deal? You have this company." I said, "Yeah." We use them; they're great. The only reason I'm really with this company is because of Garrett. He'll take really good care of you. So sign up.
That's I very vividly remember handing the phone. I remember even calling you and just saying, "Hey, I got somebody here who wants to know how the program is working. Like, can you talk to him?" I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's how it started. I got to know you. I used to come out quite a bit. Obviously, at the time, I was begging for deals, and that was my job. I hated it. You know that I hated it.
Oh yeah.
Not going to talk bad about the company, and again, we're leaving out the name of that company on purpose, and we'll leave out the name of my current company. But I was then approached. I was headhunted by a different company and moved into that part of the world, which is a little bit different. And I haven't really told about what I do, so I'll just say I just moved into a different part of the industry.
Sure.
And you said, "Yeah, I'll sign up with that too." And it was, "All right, you need bank, you need money. Okay, Garrett, come talk to me." So now you are about to be without giving specifics, you're about to be the largest car dealership in my portfolio.
Yes.
As we're doing this, as we're having this conversation.
And the funny thing, you mentioned, it's like, I remember when you were going to that company, I said, "Well, I'm going to be your first account then."
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was your first account.
You were.
I was your first account to get over a certain number, and I'm going to be your first account again to get over a certain number.
Yes, you are.
I was also your first account to fail audits. So.
You were also, yeah. You were also, you've done a lot of firsts.
Right.
So not only do you do that, so that's how we met. We became fast growing friends, mainly because I will tell you, if you haven't caught on already, Kurt is a very straightforward guy. And I truly do mean this. If you come in and know what you're doing, or at least have an idea of how you can help and add to his business, to his life, to his, to anything that he's doing, he's going to take that into consideration. And as long as you don't mess up, you're good. And if you can help him, which I did, I think.
Multiple
times, yeah. And that would be ideal, right? So why not get those people and kind of hold them close? We became friends. We've gone on a few adventures together too. We've done some bourbon tasting. We went on a
great time.
Went on a bourbon tasting into the bourbon motherland of Kentucky.
That was a great trip.
It was a great trip. We've hung out on multiple occasions. We've gone out to dinner. We literally just got done hanging out again today. So I say all of this because that's how we started our relationship. I was reminded yesterday, and I'll just take this for what it's worth. And you can, I already have a feeling you're going to say something kind of cheesy and stupid, but I can't wait for it. So I'm watching some videos, as I do now that I'm into this podcasting business and vlogging business, and I'm watching other people's videos. And one of them that just happened to pop up, there was a TikTok, and then I kind of looked into their podcast because it was a podcast TikTok. And one of the guys said, and he's young, he's late 20s, early 30s, and the whole topic of the TikTok / conversation was how hard it was to make friends at an older age. He goes, "I just don't have time." He goes, "In high school and college, it was easy to make friends. Post-college in the professional world, it's really hard to make friends." And as it went on, and I couldn't even tell you what the name of the podcast was. I apologize to whoever's it was, but it was a good topic, and I thought, oh man, we should probably talk about something like that, because as you get older, it is very hard to find people, number one, that are like-minded, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, politics aside, just where you value life and topics in general, I think it's hard to find somebody on the same page as you. If you get to find out that they're similar to you in that aspect, again, that's very superficial. Oh, he's got a job. He blue collar, whatever. We're interested in the same things. I can hold a conversation with him more than 5 minutes. So once you get past that superficial part, then you got to take it to, okay, beliefs, values, if somebody was breaking into your house, what would you do? Like stuff like that, right. You gotta kind of feel somebody out. Yeah. And it's hard then. You get a lot of superficial people out there, and then you get a lot of harder to find somebody who kind of aligns with your beliefs and your values. And then I'm going to take it a step further. It's extremely hard. So once you get past those first steps, it's extremely hard to find somebody that you can trust. And I don't just mean like, "Hey man, can I tell you a secret about the game last night?" No, I trust you. I would give you the garage code. Give the garage code to my house. You can come in here and take care of whatever you would. I trust you implicitly.
So I know what you're talking about. So one of the things is, as far as making friends in your 30s and 40s, it is difficult. I realize that too. And I'm busy. I've got
Sure.
I work full time. I got 2 full-time jobs essentially. I sleep about 3-4 hours a day. So for me to have, there's certain people that you will meet them and you will click with them.
I
So
agree.
we may not talk for 2 or 3 weeks.
Sure.
But we can literally pick up right where we left off.
Absolutely.
There's only a couple people that I have, a couple close friends I have like that. So I have tons of acquaintances.
Yes,
I know
so do I.
everybody, right? But I only have a few friends.
I agree.
And they're, I keep my circle small because I consider them my good friends that I can trust. And the friends that I do have in my circle, they're friends that I do trust with my life. Some of the people I work with, and people that I can trust with information and so forth about me and my life. So there's not that many people out there that you can get on that level with. So like I said, I have tons of acquaintances.
Sure.
But I have a very small circle of friends.
I'm gonna say I feel so special that I feel like I'm one of those friends.
You are.
You're one of
You
those
are.
friends to me, at
You
least.
are.
That's what I say.
No, you are.
And I want to make it clear that it was later on. I mean, it was only a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And 30s, like you said, 40s, 40s. It is tough. It's tough to find. I don't even want to say lifelong friends, but I would say just somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
It's very tough. And again, I'm an optimist. I'm not a pessimist when it comes to giving people the benefit of the doubt. And I have been burned in my life. You don't have to believe what I believe, but I always give everybody a fair chance. I try to give everybody a fair chance until you give me a reason not to. I've said that through my entire life. Help me in my sales career. Help me to get to where I am now. And you were one of those guys. I mean, we skipped even right over the trial period. It was like, I very, very openly say I trust you. You're somebody that I can rely on. That's another hard one. If I was broken down on the side of the road, here's a good scenario. And I've said this in my life many times. You said a handful of people. I always use the scenario. If I was broken down on the side of the road, who would drop everything or do anything they possibly could to come and help me and fix my tire, pick me up, whatever. And I'm aging myself and probably aging you a little bit too. Now you can just call a tow truck or an Uber or a Lyft. But back in the day, you weren't. If somebody helped me on the side of the road, my car was broken down, and I finally found a landline to call somebody, who's gonna come and help you?
Sure.
You'd be one of those people.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Well, no, it's the truth. You've gotten into my circle, my circle of friends.
Right.
So now I have some questions for you. Now that everyone who's watching and listening, the tens of people who are watching and listening, who are now know who you are, how we met, and a little bit of what you do. I did say you're a police officer. You're a business owner. You own a car dealership.
I do.
You also own a patent on a couple, quite frankly, inventions, right?
Yeah.
Products that you sell and.
Yeah, essentially. So
Not like you don't go to a store and be, oh, hey, that's Kurt's thing. It's it's something.
yeah,
unique.
it's kind of specific.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer since 2004. Started in small town USA. That's where I kind of started learning.
Yeah.
What to do. That's where I screwed everything up. So basically, you screw it up so that you learn from it, and then
Fair
you know
enough.
how to do it the next time.
Fair enough.
And I don't like looking like an idiot. So when I
Sure.
would screw something up, I would make sure I knew the ins and outs of that. So I would
I get that.
dive in, head
get
first,
that.
and be like, all right, how do I do this so I don't look like a knucklehead the next time?
I understand that completely.
So started there. I applied for largest city in Ohio, down here in central Ohio, and started down here in 2007. So a couple years prior. It was an interesting start to my career. I was here about a year because I had to go through another police academy down here.
So, I'm just doing math. 15 years here. 15
been
years
here
here.
for
Where you
16, yeah.
16.
Yeah,
Okay.
16.
Go ahead.
So first year in, I worked on second shift, which I've been on night shift most of my career. I'm on night shift again anyway. But I was on second shift at the time. I was fresh out of the academy. You kind of got to take what you can get when you first get out there because it's all seniority based.
Of course.
But one year in, I had I worked a certain car number and I had a partner. on that car. It was the busiest district in the city. It was up off of. I'm kind of
What side of town?
It was on the north side.
Okay.
So like
All right.
like 71.
Yeah,
Mills
yeah,
Road
yeah,
area,
yeah,
right. Busiest car in the city on second shift, and I mean we used to do these run sheets on how
Sure.
many runs we took, and we'd usually fill up the front, which there were 28 spots on there. But anyway, I had a partner first year in. You know, actually he's dead now, unfortunately, but first partner I actually really had, he actually got shot in the face.
Really?
Out of a it was Labor Day in 2009. It was a Labor Day shooter. Guy was like pinned up in his house. They tried to stop him. He was pinned up in his house. As cruisers were coming in, he had an AK-47 on the drum. He was popping off rounds at all the cruisers. So my old partner got shot. But kind of a crazy thing, and then went back to night shift after that. Take a little break. So
Jeez.
I went to night shift on the west side.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. I met a lot of nice people.
A lot more calm on the west side.
Well, it was busy, but it was so like second shift is just busy with everything. Where night shift, it's more like, well, you don't have little Johnny didn't get off the bus.
Sure.
You know, someone stole something from Walmart. You get like the more serious crime stuff. So you might have a gap of an hour and a half or so where there's nothing going on, and then boom, there's a vehicle pursuit or a shooting or a robbery. So then you're responding to that kind of stuff. So it's a little more exciting, keeps you awake. But went to night shift on the west side. 2000. Gosh, I think it was 2010. So basically a year after I went to night shift. I caught the West Side serial rapist.
Oh wow!
Just on a feeling.
Jeez.
So I was going down. There was this guy that I think he was up to 7 or 8 rapes, and they were brutal. He was brutally raping these
wow.
women. So we were out. I actually had kind of an interesting story. It kind of starts off bad, but it ends up good. We dealt with a lot of prostitutes and stuff like that on the west side, and they would call in and be like, "I was raped," and we'd be like, well, "What do you mean?
Yeah,
what happened?"
Sure.
And you come to find
explain.
out,
Yeah,
right. And then you come to find out that it's like, oh, they contracted sex services, and then the guy didn't pay, so
got it.
On the rape.
So that puts you in a very unique
so it's like,
situation.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, but don't be a prostitute. Don't do
it's
that. And I understand
it's against the law. Yeah,
it's against the law, and it's a touchy thing now with all the human trafficking things going on. Where there's a lot of programs out there to try and help them. But
absolutely.
I came across one. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I got off at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I get a call, and I'm the only one to send because it was a really busy summer that summer.
Sure.
And they're like, I was working up on 15 precincts. And like, hey, we need to search you for this rape. I'm like, okay. So I get down there, and I'm sitting there talking to her. I'm like, all right, what
happened?
What happened? She's like, oh, I got in this guy's van. I'm like, okay, so did you not get paid? And later I find out she's actually a true victim. I felt like a complete asshole, a piece of shit. So, and usually when I put my mind to something, I can usually get it accomplished.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I got to catch this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Right? The next night I come into work, I was actually on time trade with my buddy because he was down in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
My other partner, because I worked the paddy wagon for a little while, he was down in Myrtle Beach. I ended up coming into work for him. So I was supposed to be off. So there were a lot of things that happened. So I was supposed to be off work. Boom. About 2 o'clock in the morning, another rape comes in. Same description of the guy the day before. And I'm like, oh, this is him. I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
I'm hauling ass down West Broad Street. I'm doing about 80.
Yeah.
Right? And all the lights are green. And then out of nowhere, I don't know how this stuff happens. Out of nowhere, I get a yellow light, and I'm coming up on it quick, and I know it's going to turn red before I hit it.
Sure.
Right? So I'm like, shit. So I slam on the brakes. I'm slowing down to check the intersection. As I'm checking, I'm looking right because it was a T intersection. I'm looking right to make sure there's not a car coming because if there's not one coming, I'm just going to hit the gas and go. Which technically you're supposed to, due regard. You're supposed to slow down to about 10 or 15 miles an hour so you can stop if someone pulls in front of you.
I'm following you.
But I'm like, no, I'm going to catch this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Right? So as I'm going through the intersection, I glance to the right to see if there's someone coming through, and I see this van pop out of the alley. Now, at that time in the morning, we call them alley jumpers. They're jumping through the alleys to try and avoid the police, right?
Of course they are.
So I see this van. It came in that was like a dark-colored minivan of some type. They didn't know if it was a Dodge or a Ford or what.
Sure.
Why? I'm good with cars. Obviously, I'm in the car business.
Do you own a car dealership? I'm just kidding.
I might have one of those. And I see this Ford Windstar pop out of the alley. And I thought for a second, I actually made a full another intersection. I stopped for a second, and I'm like, okay, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. What are the chances of a dark color? Now, second shift, I mean, there's probably 30 minivans in the area, right?
Absolutely.
So what's the chances of a dark colored minivan popping out of an alley that's not too close but not too far?
From the time that it was called in to where you are.
Called in, right? I'm like, that's him.
It's got to be.
So I do U-turn at the next intersection. I come back. Now the light has cycled now, so it's red for him.
Sure.
And I pull up, and I kind of angle my car in front of him, and I hit him with the spotlight, and it matched the description to a T, right? I'm like, oh, I got you. So I get him at gunpoint. I walk up. I air that I got this guy, and walk up, told him not to move, and he thought he was all cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
He thought he wasn't going to get caught.
Sure.
Right? He's smarter than everybody else, right? So I get him out. I get him in handcuffs. I said, hey, something happened in the area. I'm just going to detain you real quick to make sure you're not him, and hopefully we can clear your name, and you can go.
You can go.
Right? Put him in the back of the cruiser, and the sexual assault detectives are actually out on the street looking for this guy, which they never come out of the office.
So you know it's something big.
Right? So I air, and they're like, hey, does he have nice teeth? So I'm like, I don't know. Let me go check. So I open the door, and I say, let me see your teeth. He smiles, and he did. He had nice teeth. I go, nice teeth, and I shut the door. And I'm like, yeah, he's got nice teeth. So come to find out, we held the car to get a search warrant and everything, do everything the right way. The girl that he had just raped, her ID and her flip-flops were in the passenger seat.
Oh, my gosh.
So we had him, right? So I got Crime Stoppers Award of the Month.
Did you really?
Yeah, for catching the West Side serial rapist.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. And I was kind of a newer cop, so I'm like,
I mean,
look at this. This is great.
I never knew that story.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So cheers to that. He's still in jail.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So then let's see. Further along in my career.
Well, and I listen. You can come over and tell stories all you want. So that's got to feel good. I mean, we skipped over a pretty major thing that you said, and that's okay. We can talk about that another time. But then we went on to that. Dude, I never knew that.
Yeah. So, it was very rewarding because of what happened.
Sure.
Earlier that day.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I felt like an asshole. I was like, oh, she's a true
victim.
victim.
Assumptions, I'm actually glad that you said that because that's actually truth, right? So you're right. It sucks. You can't make assumptions, and you can't. And then it doesn't always come full circle, but the fact that it did for you, that's awesome. And
that's the fastest something's come full circle for me. It's like, okay, I feel bad. I need to fix it, right?
Yeah, of course.
If you do something wrong, you always want to fix it.
You
right?
absolutely want to fix it.
Let me fix this. So, and then literally the next night, not even 24 hours later, boom, I caught him. So it was very rewarding because it's like, okay, yeah, I feel bad because I did this, but you know what? I caught the son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, and then you made up for a lot of other people's situations as well. It wasn't just her. You hopefully get some justification or justice for some of the other people.
Yeah, some of the other people, and it stopped them from doing it again.
Yeah, absolutely. You stopped somebody.
Right.
So I didn't know that you were like super cop. Like you're like RoboCop, but before RoboCop came around.
Just doing my job.
Just doing my job. Well, I'm only shifting for a second because I want to ask you. So police officer. Oh my gosh, highly decorated police officer.
Yeah, I've gotten a decent amount of awards.
Since I've been there. And you also have a lot of funny stories that we definitely will have to drink and talk about again. Some other times. There are even just small little stories that I've heard from you that I think are hilarious. Everything from riots in our city to what was the other one? There were a couple where it's nice to hear. It's nice to put a face and humanize the people who protect and serve me. Right. So sure. You're out there and unfortunately in our country you've gotten a bad rap. Not you, but the police have gotten a bad rap in some places, and it's I always thought it was nice to hear some of the other side of the story, right? So yeah, hey, look, they're human beings too. They actually have lives. They do other things. You have a couple jobs. I want to ask you how you got into cars, but I also really quickly tell Me and the people, whoever. You only sleep like 2 hours a night.
Yeah, roughly. So I get off at 5:30 in the morning, roughly.
It's not 2 hours. He gets a lot of sleep.
Yeah,
I'm just. It's a thing.
Yeah, I have a weird sleep issue. So I get off at 5:30 in the morning. The car lot opens at 10. I'm usually up at 9:30, and I usually make it there by about 10:15.
So he can sleep at a certain period of time. So, but the amazing thing, why I want to point that out, is you could sleep anywhere.
I can literally sleep if I close my. I've fallen asleep at red lights before. I'm able to manage it.
Yeah.
But so this is the issue. I have a sleep disorder, but it's kind of weird because technically on its face it's technically narcolepsy.
Sure.
Because they consider excessive daytime sleepiness.
Of course.
But mine goes past that, so I can literally fall asleep if I close my eyes. I can make myself go to sleep. So when I know I'm only going to get 2 hours of sleep, I can go to sleep. As long as I dream, I can wake up and feel refreshed. So if I get 2 hours of sleep, but I was dreaming,
you're good.
I'll wake up and I'm good for another 7 or 8 hours.
Man, I need that disposition.
Well, I abuse it because now I'm like, well, I know that if I get 2 hours of sleep here and I get 2 hours of sleep on the back end here and I got 4 hours of sleep of the day, I'm good to go.
Yeah,
right? I can get more work done.
And I have seen you I've seen you tired when we're at the lot. You're like, dude, I'm tired. I need to go. Yeah. I need to go get sleep. I've also seen you when we did our bourbon trip. I've also seen you just. Oh no, I'm good. I'm back. I'm ready.
I remember that. I'm like, hey guys, if I fall asleep, it's not because you're boring.
It's and then when I wake back up, I'm gonna be good to go. Yeah. And you were good to go.
Well, I take a 20 minute.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
nap.
you were ready to roll. Let's go drink some bourbon.
Right.
So then, touch base on this. So now we've talked about, oh my gosh, your career, your profession, your all-star, and then what made you decide? Well, not what made you decide. There's a little bit of a story there too about getting into the car industry, right?
So I got into the car business. I'd gone through Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University.
Okay.
Great program. I learned a lot. I don't follow it to a T, but I use it as a guide, right? So,
don't mind me. I'm just getting more bourbon.
You're good. Please, by all means.
Yeah.
So it talks about paying things off and just driving like a cheaper car for a while to whatever. So I had a Chevy Trailblazer that I sold, and I had it paid off. I put about $7,000 in my pocket. So I'm like, oh wow, it's like I was younger. I'm like, oh, $7,000 back then was a lot of money. $7,000 now.
Still
like,
seven. Well, yeah, you're right. I get it. I'm following you.
Right.
So you found that you can make some money.
Right. So I sold the Trailblazer. I bought a 2004 Ford Taurus.
Okay.
With about 100,000 miles. Actually. Yeah. Great car. It's a good A to B car, right?
Yeah.
So I get this Ford Taurus. I drive it into work. My buddy Greg Kolarich, he's like, man, that thing's in really good shape. You only paid $2,500 for it? I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's got a good deal.
Sure.
I got a work car now. He goes, you should sell that. I'm like, why the hell would I want to sell it? Like, I need a car to drive back and forth to work. He's like, dude, that thing's worth like $4,000 or $5,000. Like, you should just sell it and then just do it again. I'm like, well, I'll give it a try. So I get the thing cleaned up, and I'm like, I'll give it a try. I'll toss it on Craigslist because that was the
back then.
So I tossed the thing on Craigslist. 2 days later, a guy calls me. He's like, yeah, can I look at the car? I said, yeah. Meet up with him, and I had it listed for $5,000. Right? So doubling my money. Right?
Sure.
He comes out and he's like, yeah, I like it. Would you take $4,800? I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Right? I'm like, yeah, I'll take $4,800. He's like, oh, okay, well, meet me at the bank. I'll get the money.
I'm my gosh.
Okay, so I sold it. So I'm like, okay, I need to find another one now because now we're back down to one car.
Yeah.
So I find another Ford Taurus. I remember pulling it in my driveway. It was an 05 Ford Taurus. I bought it for $2,500. Again, had like 118,000 miles on it. I pull in. I remember my son's like, a Ford Taurus again? Like, trust me,
it's gonna go fast.
Something going on. So I get that. Did the same thing. Listed for $5,000. I had it for 2 weeks, and someone contacts me on it. And they're like, hey, well, I'm not going to give you $5,000, but we take $4,400. So I sold that one for $4,400. So I'm like, man, I'm ahead of the game here. At the time, I was working overtime.
Yeah.
To make extra money.
Sure.
I'm like, well, this is easier. So I did it 2 or 3 more times, and I read the law, and they're like, once you get to 5, you need to have a dealership.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, well, I either need to keep the one that I have,
Yeah.
or open a dealership. So then initially I opened Blue Line Auto Group with my buddy Greg. We were out in the boonies in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I
Sure.
sold boats for a little while when I was younger, but I didn't know.
Still have one, don't you? For sale.
I do. It is for sale. It's 2011 Yamaha AR210. It's a beautiful boat. It's got a black hull, twin engines. You'll love it. Yeah, I used it 0 times last season. The year before I went out.
You've been trying to sell it to me for 6 months.
You should buy it.
I mean, continue with your. Go ahead, sir.
So
good, sir.
It's got low hours on it. All the safety room that comes with it.
I know.
It's got a trailer.
So great.
You know, and I used to own it.
Okay.
Anyway,
You're.
It's got a nice cushion on the back. Anyway, so I did it a couple more times. I had Blue Line Auto Group for a hot minute. I was in Blue Line Auto Group for a little while, but we were out in the middle of the boonies. We sold like 5 or 6 cars a month. It was horrible. It was more stress than it was worth. So closed that down. I got in with like a uniform supply type stuff, and then I've got Walkie Clip, which is designed to hold the radio mic on your uniform, on the button uniforms. They're starting to become dated now because everyone's going to those tactical vests, look like little GI Joes, and I don't have a solution for that yet. But anyway, got the patent and everything on that. So I was selling that, and then I had tacticalcop.com, which I've got that website shut down right now just because during COVID and everything I couldn't get equipment. So that's kind of on hold. But and that was, I basically drop ship, tactical equipment, vests, whatever. And then my dad and I in 2018, he goes, hey, I'm getting older. Let's do something together. Let's get in business together. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea.
Family, yeah.
He goes, well, what can we do? I'm like, well, I know how. I did a crash course with my first dealership on selling cars.
I know what not to do.
Right. So I said, we can get into cars. He's like, okay, let's get into cars. So I literally, May 1st, I filed the LLC. I went through the dealer class in that 2 weeks. Sure. And I filed the LLC May 1st. I had everything done. I had the website. I had a location. Which was with First Gear Auto Group initially. I had all the business paperwork filed, everything. I got it all done in 2 days. Yeah. So filed everything. I had my dealer's license on the 18th.
Which is fast compared to what they do now, but continue.
It's about, even back then it was about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I had forgotten a signature on one of the papers on purpose. Because at the time I was working out on the west side, and that's where dealer licensing services is. Yeah. So I knew I'd be working if I had to stop in. Of course. So I stopped in, and the guy's like, "You're a police officer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing this on the side." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll get this submitted right now."
Right now.
Like, all right, great. So then Wendy from OIADA, which we're a member of, Ohio Independent Auto Dealers Association. Wendy calls me and she goes, "Who the hell do you know up at dealer licensing?" I said, "I don't know anybody." She goes, "How the hell did you get a dealer's license in 18 days?" I said, "That's a great question." So anyway, and then Auto Resale Specialist was born. Yeah. Started in Pataskala, went to where we met off of Main Street or Route 40. And it's just been growing since then. Yeah. Ended up moving up to Delaware. We got a really good location in Delaware, 35 East Central Avenue. It's right downtown Delaware.
It is?
Cat a corner from the police station. So I'm like, oh, good, they can watch my stuff.
What's your website?
It is www.centraltruckandauto.com.
Or
for the guys out there, it's centraltna.com. I got that URL forwarded over to you as well.
All right.
So
TNA.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, we're gonna put it up for you. You'll be able to pay. Yeah.
So we're right there in Delaware.
There's no promo code for us yet.
Yeah.
So.
No, we're working on it. If you mention this, I'll give you $250.
Oh, all right. Yeah, look at that.
We moved up there. We do a lot of things in the community up there. They do First Friday up in Delaware. Yeah. Every first Friday, which it's a little colder out now, so we haven't been doing a whole lot.
Huge bourbon bar up there.
There is.
We don't have to promote it. Yeah, but we'll get there.
We eat there all the time. It's a great location up there. We actually did a cookout. I did a video, which I'm not big on I don't know how to do videos like.
But by the way, can we just say this is where I get to first? Let me back up. I enjoy your story. I'm glad you told. Here's why. You do so many different things, and he's got a family.
I do.
Kids.
I have a wife and 2 kids.
And he's so you're hearing all of this, and you hear the energy that he has, and he barely gets time off. He's a man of many traits and many crafts. I was just gonna say that you absolutely for the promotion, for getting your name out there. If you get a chance and you look up Central Truck and Auto, you should definitely check out some of Kurt's commercials that he's done, because they are very good. They're very good, Kurt.
They're funny. I got some funny ones in there.
They're
I was
very
working
funny.
with this advertising company. They're like, yeah, we need 15 videos. I'm like, 15? Well, video 6. I'm like, listen, just come down here and buy some fucking cars, okay? I was thinking to him. But anyway, so he's
wearing suits in some, and he's wearing like shirts in another.
Cowboy hat in another one.
It's very fun.
But yeah, we actually did a.
You need to do some billboards. That's what I think.
Billboards.
You should do some billboards.
I'm thinking about like radio commercial.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. No one listens to radio anymore. They're always watching.
I know that they are. They're watching YouTube and podcasts.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we actually did. So I did a video for First Friday. I'm like, hey, we're gonna have a cookout. I bought a new grill. I'm like, we're gonna have a cookout.
I remember
free hot dogs and hamburgers. Come down. We got you covered. You don't even have to buy anything. Just come down and we'll feed you.
Yeah.
Right. So I posted that video on Facebook. It got shared multiple times, and the advertising company calls me and they're like, hey. We were pushing this video for you. FYI, it's been viewed 36,000 times. I'm like, oh shit,
36,000? I didn't know it was that.
36.1. Wow. So I'm like, well, you have to get some more cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some more hot dogs.
I bought 300, and I'm like, okay, 300 cheeseburgers, 150 hot dogs. If we need more,
I'll just go and get them.
I'll say I'll just go and get them. So we start cooking. We started cooking at like 4 p.m. And by 8 p.m. we had served like 110 or 115 cheeseburgers. Jeez. So it was busy in those 4 hours. I was, and I actually, I'm a halfway decent cook apparently, because I didn't make them all hot pucks. But maybe a couple, because I got talking to somebody and then I forgot they were on the grill. I'm like,
throw a couple out.
I'm gonna have to throw a couple of these out. So then we had an extra 200 cheeseburgers.
Of course, So, you know what?
So my family and all the workers for about 2 weeks ate
a lot of burgers and hot dogs.
And it got to one point to where I'm like, you guys want to do lunch? And they're like, please don't cook any hamburgers. I can't. I said, all right, we'll go somewhere and eat. Or we ordered
chicken? You want chicken?
Anything,
chicken.
but another like GFS burger. Like, okay. But we had a great time. We had a lot of people show up. It was a great event, and we've been selling cars off people that stopped by and saw us.
You are no exaggeration. You are one of the highest producing dealers that not only works with me, but you're a higher producing dealer for some of the auctions in different areas too. For those who don't know a lot about the car business, there's a lot of different aspects that you can be involved in. He's involved in all of them. There's just a lot of different aspects and you can get involved in. You're one of the higher producing ones, and I don't see signs of slowing down. I mean, even with, we could talk politics and economy and all that fun stuff, but ultimately it just comes down to, do you have... You have been formulating your business plan, and you have been doing a good job. At least this is the outsider looking in when you're reevaluating your sales staff and different things that you have going on at your dealership. You stay on top of it pretty well.
I try.
Yeah, and even when you're not there, I mean, you even mentioned coming back and XYZ happened, and you got caught up and realized that there was a weak link, and you're fixing it. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things I feel you stay on top of it as best you can. Mm-hmm. All that being said, so we've this is one of the longer episodes. I love it. You gotta listen. We gotta do this again. You gotta do it again. You have so many stories.
Let me know a month ahead of time.
Yeah, I will. I'll let you know well in advance for you to plan out a day. So I'll tell you. So B.O.W. You're a bow. You're a bow now. B.O.W. Bow. You're a bow. You're the first bow outside of. Like I said, something that has to do with the podcast. You're the first bow, the first B.O.W., the first badass of the week. we're going to have t-shirts. Just wear that t-shirt with pride. It's going to be pretty cool. I got a design already laid out for it. And then we're going to put your smiling mug up on our site or our socials or our something. We're going to put your face somewhere.
Hey, I'm good.
So as long as you're okay with that, yeah, we'll put it up there. And I just seriously thank you. I know we could have talked for hours. I mean, I know that, and that's why I said you do need to come back. So one last time, tell the people what's the name of the.
All right, here I'll do my sales pitch
do your commercial. Do you need a cowboy hat? What do you need? I'm just kidding.
I got one in the car.
I'm kidding.
I own. I'm the owner of Central Truck and Auto.
There you go.
We've been open since 2018. We have a very good customer base. All our customers, we try and we aim for to have a happy customer. We got a lot of good Google reviews. Check those out. You'll get one or two out of the 150, 200 cars, actually 300 cars we've sold in the past 18 months or so. You get one or two bad reviews in there, but for the most part, everybody likes us. Give us a call, 614-259-7771 and www.centraltruckandauto. We literally have everything from $5,000 up to $60,000.
Click the link below. I'm going to make this up. There's going to be a link.
Right. So centraltruckandauto.com. And it's centraltruckandauto@gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email. But looking forward to having your business. I put it on my guys to strive to earn our customers' business. So we want a happy customer. We want everyone to tell them that they had a good experience. We want a returning customer. So we're not going to sell you a hunk of shit. Anyway. That's my sales pitch. Come on by and see
listen. It's rough around the edges, but we'll get there. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna work on it with you. But you got the points across.
You should see my video.
I know. I have. I have seen them. This is a step up, if you can believe that. I would just add this. In the time that I've known you, and in the experiences that I've shared, and the loans and the different things that I've helped you with over the years, if you need a vehicle. Not only does he have it, but he could probably find it. So if you're looking for somebody to take care of you,
I'm your guy.
I mean, I'm gonna say this now. Nobody knows this. It's kind of a surprise. You're taking care of my next vehicle.
Yes,
as we speak.
I told
that means a lot, especially if you know the industry that we're both in. Because I'm also during my day job. I just don't do podcasting yet. I would love to do this only, but my day job, I work in the auto industry, and you're the one that I came to.
Well, Garrett, I told you, I said, give me 2 weeks, I'll find you exactly what you're looking for.
It was 2 months, and he almost got it. No, just all right. Well, man, did you like that one better, by the way?
You know what? I like both of them.
I poured this. It's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. C919 for those who are curious.
The first one, what was it, Elijah Craig?
Yeah, barrel proof. It was B522. The second one was Elijah Craig barrel proof C919.
C919. Okay, I think I like the B522.
Oh, really?
First one. It was good. Okay. It's good.
Okay, well, I got nothing else. I'm working on how to finish these episodes. Mm-hmm. I have a really good tagline though for bourbon. That is, drink it how you like it. But for these B.O.W. episodes, I'll just keep being awesome. Try to be like Kurt. Cheers. Thanks for coming on. Until next time, please come back.